VFF family. So in this video is the beginning of the Q&A series. Thank you for your questions. I have one in particular that is just for the ladies. So I will be putting a link to the video that talks more in detail about my menstrual cup, because that's what this question is about. So this question is from Miss Purple, and it says, during that time of the month, how do you keep that area really clean without running water to rinse the area? And what do you do with the bloody water after washing up? So, I'll apologize now for the gentlemen. Just don't watch this video. But I wanted to get this question answered and done first, and boop, out there and over with, and then move on to something else. So I do use a menstrual cup. Again, like I said, I will put the link to the video so you can see the details on it. And it is medical grade silicone. The wind is being real disrespectful right now while I'm trying to film, but it's been like this all day, so it was not going to matter. So it's medical grade silicone, and the one I have, I cannot find anywhere anymore. I ordered it on Amazon, and it's no longer available. And I'm hoping they bring it back, whoever the company is that made it, because it's a great cup. Anyway, the one I have has a plunger at the bottom, which is a little bead that you can push out of the way, and the menses flows. So when I'm using my toilet, the menses flows to empty the cup. And then I can bring the bead plunger back into place to keep it stopped up. Now, for me, this works great. It worked when I had my pee jug. It works now that I have the cedar, because I have had my cycle since I started using the cedar bucket. And I will put a link to the toilet videos playlist up here, because I think that's good that you know what kind of toilets I've been using. And the whole time I've always used my toilet, different configurations of my toilet. I've always used them while on my cycle. So I've never had an issue. As far as the running water, that 4 to 7 days of me being on my cycle, just go to the gym twice that week instead of once. You could, if you have a pee jug, you could definitely use a plastic cup or old yogurt container or something cleaned out really well. And if you need water running on that, you can actually drizzle the water on yourself and run it. I don't have an issue with that, because I'm washing every day. I'm just not using actual running water on that spot, but I'm using a washcloth. I'm using either Dr. Bronner's soap or a mild coconut handmade soap, coconut oil soap, something natural in that area. I tend to mostly use a lot of water in that area, just plain water. We have our own pH, and if you're not eating right, or if you're having issues with your hormones or your health, that pH can be out of whack. So yes, you do want to keep that area clean, but actual running water is not necessary to keep that area clean. I've never had a yeast infection in my entire life. Never. I've never douched in my entire life. My mom was a big doucher, and it's not necessary for us to douche. So I've never had issues down below. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Miss Purple. Oh, the other part of your question is, what do I do with the bloody water after washing up? So for me, the water doesn't get like super bloody, but it goes into my gray tank. So what I normally do is, when I wash up, which is I use a little mat to sit on my bed so I'm not getting any, bodily on my covers. So I use my mat to sit on the bed, but before I do that, I dump my menstrual cup, make sure it's empty before I wash up, and I actually remove my menstrual cup. Now, I do throughout the day, I just dump my cup. I only remove it twice a day, and that's in the morning when I wash up, and I remove it again before bedtime. And each time I clean it out. So I dump it first in the toilet so that most of the bulk of the menses is gone. And then I clean it with a mild soap and water. And I don't reinsert it until I'm done washing up. So then I wash up my body, and then I reinsert it when I'm done washing up. So I'm not like bleeding, actively bleeding while I'm washing up. I don't know if that makes sense. I've never had that problem, like just blood bleeding while I'm washing up. I'm pretty quick at washing up, so I wash up pretty quickly. It takes me about 5 to 7 minutes to wash up my entire body from head to toe, doing the method that I use, and then, you know, reinsert the menstrual cup, and I'm done. So if I'm at the gym, you know, obviously it just goes down the drain like everybody else's, but that's why you wear shower shoes. Ladies especially wear shower shoes because people pee in the shower and people have their periods in the shower. So, you know, don't step on the shower. Most gyms do not wash after each person uses the shower. You could even bring a small Clorox bottle from the Dollar Tree and splash it all over the floor and then rinse it with the shower, you know, water before you get in if you don't want to do shower shoes. I personally believe in shower shoes. That's just a little side note. Now, when I was doing my pee jug and I was draining my menses into the pee jug, and obviously I was dumping my pee jug every single day, you just go further away from camp and dump it. I was having to put my pee jug on my cycle days in a bag so that I wasn't walking with the red bloody water. So yeah, I just put it in a, you know, reusable like grocery bag dedicated for the pee jug. And I also use that same grocery bag dedicated to the pee jug to go into Starbucks and dump, or Walmart bathroom and dump. Like that was my dedicated pee jug dumping bag. You know, just the heavily nice bag that you could just throw on your shoulder and take your pee jug in. And that's when I had the pee jug with the rounded, you know, with the screw top, so it wasn't going to tip over. And I just walked with it tucked under my arm so it was pressed against my body and nobody, you know, knew what was in the bag. But yeah, when I was dumping my pee jug in camp and even at RTR, because I was on my cycle that second week of RTR, I just went absolutely further, and I always dumped my pee very far away from camp, never close to camp. You don't want that urine smell, and you drizzle it. You drizzle it. You don't just dump it in one spot and have this whole little, you know, bulk of urine. So you kind of walk and drizzle, 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 drizzle. Never had an issue with animals coming. Never had an issue with, you know, coyote or anything showing up because of the blood. So I guess it was fairly diluted with the urine. So I hope this answers your question. And I hope I didn't gross too many people out. But, I mean, it's a bodily function every woman ends up having at some point in her life, usually. I'm not going to say every, because I'm sure there are many women who don't have. They just don't have it. Yep, I think that was all of your questions. So, continue to email me your questions, guys. Remember, my new email address is crystal@crystalvanner.com. Go ahead and email me. Make sure in the subject line you put Q&A, please, 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 so that I can filter those into a separate folder that I have in my email inbox. I have a separate folder that those are going to get filtered in for the Q&A, and then I can go and read them and decide when I want to answer them, how I want to answer them. So anyway, thank you, Miss Purple, for your question, and I hope you enjoyed today's Daily Dose. See you tomorrow. Mwah.